Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm back with you once again with my look ahead to Saturday. Every Saturday, I'm with you on a Friday, looking ahead to the next day and my thoughts on the racing there. And I have a recommendation for you on Saturday in the feature race of the day, the Group 1 Lock-in Stakes over at Newbury. And it's a good price, so it's worth hanging on for. So do stick around. Now, as always, if you happen to, I always say, if you happen to be discovering the uh, channel for the first time, press the subscribe button just below this screen. And you'll be able to stay in touch with all my messages where I'm tipping horses at big prices, invariably, uh, nice, tasty each way prices. And as regular followers know, the stats show that they show a very good profit over the season and over calendar years, every season and calendar year since we started in July 2020, very nearly 4 years ago. Well, last weekend there were two selections. Hickory ran really well. He was fourth in a big field in the Victoria Cup at Ascot and grabbed as the place money. But poor old Blair Main over in Ireland never managed to get a run in his sprint handicap, which was unfortunate. And his jockey really did not ask him too much of a question once it was clear that his chance had gone. I suggest you keep a close eye on Blair Main over the next few weeks, because I imagine he's going to run again soon, and it wouldn't at all surprise me that he could run well. It would be a shame to miss him if he does find the right kind of opportunity. Now, I always offer a free selection or two here at Sportsbet, but I have regular bulletins and advice on my Out in Front subscription service, the link for which you can find in the description box just below um, this screen. And things have been ticking along very nicely indeed. We had a good York with five selections over the 3 days, three placing really tasty odds, including at 25 to 1, and then one selection on Friday, which had been given on Wednesday, and that was Giavolotto in the Yorkshire Cup. So that was 7 to 1 when it was recommended. There was one non-runner, of course, so there's a little rule 4, but still one selection on Friday, absolutely bolted up, won by a street. And that, of course, followed last Friday's two selections at Out in Front that both won, and a combined SP 89 to 1 double. Two suggestions, both won 89 to 1 double. That's what you would have had if you had been with me at Out in Front. So why not join? There is absolutely no tie-in, and you can come and go as you please. Hopefully you will stay. And of course, we're not that far out now from of course, the Royal Ascot meeting that's coming up in about 4 weeks' time. So there's loads of great racing to come between now and then. But of course, those amazing 5 days at Royal Ascot are getting ever closer. And in between, there's the Derby meeting and other great racing, including in Ireland. So my one selection for you on Saturday is down at Newbury. And the Berkshire track is very much, I think, the centre of attention, even allowing for a good meeting at Newmarket and a few other nice fixtures. The Lock-in Stakes, of course, is the first Group 1 race for older milers that really counts in Europe. The going is forecast good. There are 11 runners, and it does have a bit of star quality about it because the top class French miler, Big Rock, is over to try and follow up on what he did at the end of last season when he won the QE2 Stakes, where he absolutely bolted up in desperate ground when he was trained then by Christopher Head. He had a number of other high-class horses absolutely toiling behind him. But things have changed since then, and the owner, who I think is a Japanese owner, of Big Rock and also other very, very famous French horses, including Blue Rose Seine, he moved all his horses. You know, sometimes owners make decisions for whatever reasons. Move them away from Christopher Head to a trainer called Maurizio Guarnieri. So this horse is making its debut for him. He hasn't been with the new trainer very long, so he's been in new surroundings. I think he's got questions to answer about whether or not he will have acclimatized to the new surroundings, whether he's fully wound up after 7 months, whether he's going to be as good at this stage of the season, tackling high-class horses on much quicker ground than Ascot last season. Fine, big horse, but given all the above, I think he is opposable. Now, indeed, last autumn, he had to play second fiddle to the Gosden's very, very smart mare in Spiral, who beat Big Rock in the Prix Jacqueline Marois at Deauville in August. And then Inspiral followed up by winning both the Sun Chariot Stakes at Newmarket and the Breeders' Cup. Filly and Mare's Turf. She went out to America, Santa Anita, and she won there in November. Now, she has also won first time out in both her first two seasons, including in the 2022 renewal of the Group 1 Coronation Stakes at Royal Ascot. And then last season, first time out, she again ran at Royal Ascot, where she was narrowly beaten in the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes on her first run back. She'll be ready to roll. She's the one they should all fear. That is the mare, as she is now, in Spiral. Now, a horse that did us a favour last time out was Sharon, or rather, it did a favour, I think, for my subscribers over at Out in Front. Roger Varian trains Sharon, um, a big contender, a big, powerful grey, arrives at Newbury on the back of some fine wins in the listed Doncaster Mile, and then stepped up to Group 2 company, winning the Bet 365 mile at Sandown last time out. Clearly progressing fast and should be bang there even at this higher level. Pokerface, trained by Simon and Ed Crisford, was having his first run of the season when he was just outpaced in the closing stages by Sharon at Sandown. He may well have come on for that run and may get close at this time, but I believe that Sharon is probably going to be able to confirm form. And then if Royal Scotsman for Paul and Oliver Cole um, is back to his best, he may well go well on his first start of the season. He's wearing a tongue tie. He was runner-up, of course, in the Group 1 Dewhurst Stakes back in 2022, and he was third in last season's 2,000 Guineas. Ran no sort of a race when favourite for the Irish 2,000 Guineas after that, and then beat only one home. And he again ran poorly at Royal Ascot in the St James's Palace Stakes. He hasn't been seen since, and he clearly has a few questions to answer. But horse wearing the first time tongue tie, that may well turn out to be a horse who um, kind of went missing for most of his 3-year-old season, but he's going to come back better at 4. But I wouldn't like to put my money down to find out. Now, as you know, coming onto the selection, I am always looking for value. By the way, I was at York races on Thursday at the Dante, and it was lovely to meet some people who had been following this service for years, including those who had backed Jeff Kidder all those years ago at 80 to 1 in the Cheltenham Festival. It was lovely to meet them and to have a picture with one gentleman and also have a chat with others. So a terrific time was had at York, and a few winners as well. Um, so as you know, I'm always looking for value, and it just strikes me that at the current odds, there could be some um, justification in supporting High Royal. High Royal is trained by Kevin Ryan, and quite significantly, I think, is going to be ridden by Ryan Moore. Now, even allowing for the fact that it was a substandard 2,000 guineas last season, in which he finished second to Caldian at massive odds of 150 to 1, High Royal showed that day at Newmarket that he is a very talented horse. And even if he's quirky, he ran around in the closing stages, he might have gone close to winning had he kept straight. But unlike the horse of the Coles, what's it called? I've just forgotten the name of the thing, that Royal Scotsman. Unlike Royal Scotsman, this horse has proven that was no fluke, because the time after he went on to run really well when he was third in the Irish 2,000 Guineas to Paddington, um, uh, or I should say in the St James's Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot. But after that, he went completely off the boil in top races throughout the rest of the season. He just never really showed up. And clearly something wasn't quite right with the horse, so he had a breathing operation during the closed season. And this son of Kodiak might have just had some breathing issues towards the second half of last season. He reappeared at Newmarket last month, and he went up from a mile to 9 furlongs in the Earl of Sefton Stakes, where he really did show quite a bit of dash, and he only gave way inside the final furlong when almost certainly the lack of peak condition after 6 months on the sidelines took its toll. So my reasoning is that he probably needed the run. It was his first time after a breathing operation, so horses are often a little bit, not knowing what to expect when they really go for it, because obviously it's distressing for a horse when they can't breathe properly. but clearly he is breathing properly now. I think the drop back to the mile is going to be well worthwhile. The ground is going to suit him. Ryan Moore is, of course, best jockey in the world, in my view. So having him on board is no negative. And I just wouldn't be at all surprised if High Royal manages to make the frame. At 50 to 1, that is available with a number of firms still each way. There have been a few early nibbles, but there's still a few out there offering 50 to 1, and you don't have to have much on at that price for it to be um, a nice payday. And of course, if he were to run a real stormer and see them all off, that would be a terrific result. So I'm going out on a limb here, going out against most of the conventional thinking, and High Royal is my choice for Kevin Ryan and Ryan Moore, 50 to 1 in the Lock-in Stakes Saturday. If you want to find out about the selections that I've put up over at Out in Front, where there are some very nice priced selections as well, remember to click the link in the description box just below that screen. But for now, that's it for this week. I'm not going to be with you next week. Next week, I'm having a weekend off. It's a family event, so I'm not able to be with you, but I will be back in 2 weeks' time with my video advice. So best of luck from now until then. Bye bye for now.